Good morning, children. How are you all? Hope everybody is fine, happy, and enjoying your lessons. Are you ready for today's math lesson? Oh, it's time for our lesson. Let's see the topic for the day. Hey, it's time. Today, you are going to learn about time. Learning objectives. I can read, write, and show a clock and half past times. Here are some clocks. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to look into this clock and tell the time. Vocabulary words. Analog clock, minute hand, hour hand, a clock, half past. Let's see the parts of a clock. This is an analog clock. Clock has 12 numbers and it is arranged in this sequence around the clock from 1 to 12, and between each numbers there are 5 minutes. The long hand of the clock tells you the minute and the short hand tells you the hour. Again, the short hand of the clock tells you the hour. It is called the hour hand, and the long hand tells you the minute, and it's called the minute hand. Let's see how to tell the time. If the long hand is pointing at 12, it means a clock. A clock has 12 numbers and there are 5 minutes between each number. That is, between 12 and 1 there are 5 minutes. Between 1 and 2 another 5 minutes. Between 2 and 3 another 5 minutes, and so on. If you do the skip counting of 5, you can see how many minutes are there one time around the clock. Let's do it together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. 60 minutes one time around the clock. That is, we can say that the time in this clock is 12 o'clock because the short hand and the long hand are pointing towards number 12. If the long hand points towards number 6, we call it half past time, or this hour with 30 minutes. Here are some examples of how to tell the time. This clock is showing 2 o'clock. Let's see how. The hour hand or the short hand of the clock is pointing towards 2. That is 2. The hour is 2 and the minute hand or the long hand is showing towards 12. And so we can say the time this clock is showing is 2 o'clock. Now let's move to the next one. Can you see the hour hand and the minute hand? Very good, children. Where the hour hand is pointing? To number 12. And the minute hand? Again number 12. That's good. Now can you say the time? Exactly. This clock is showing 12 o'clock because the hour hand and the minute hand are pointing towards number 12. Now let's move to the next one. What time this clock is showing? Yes, the hour hand is still pointing to number 2, but the minute hand has moved to number 6. If the minute hand is pointing to number 6, it shows half past time or 30 minutes. So how can we say this time? It's 2:30 or half past 2. Half past 2. How we can say 2:30? Teacher will show you again. From 12 to 1 it's 5 minutes. From 1 to 2 5 minutes. 2 to 3 another 5 minutes. 3 to 4 another 5 minutes. 4 to 5 another 5 minutes, and 5 to 6 another 5 minutes. That is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And so we can say this clock is showing 2:30 or simply half past 2. Here are some more examples of how to tell the time. Can you tell me what time this clock is showing? Very good, children. It's showing 3 o'clock because the hour hand is pointing towards 3 and the minute hand is pointing towards 12. Now let's move to this one. What time this clock is showing? Is it a clock or half past? Very good. It's showing half past time. Now let's see. The hour hand is in 4, still in number 4, and the minute hand is pointing towards number 6. That is half past 4 or 4:30. Now let's see this time. Can you tell me the time this clock is showing? This is an alarm clock and the time it's showing is 9:30. Very good, children. It's showing 9:30 or simply half past 9. Here is an activity for you. Using body gesture, sing the song "What Time Is It?" Click the link below for the music. Say, point your hands at 1 o'clock and demonstrate how to do this. Hold one arm straight up at 12 and the other at 1. Then say, point your hands at 2 o'clock. Continue all the way around to 12 o'clock to the tune of this music. Here is another activity for you, time schedule making. Put your hands of the clock using a clock and half past time. Here are the pictures of some activities and the clocks without hand. You can look at the picture and put the hands, the hour hand and the minute hand to show the time. You can do this with the help of your mom or dad. Here is another activity. Using any available resource at home, make your own clock. You can use a cardboard, a paper plate or anything that's round in shape to make a clock. Dear parents, kindly provide available resources at home to make the clock and don't forget to label it. That's the end of today's lesson. Hope you enjoyed the lesson and you can look at the clock and tell the time. Thank you.